Good afternoon, everybody. Good Monday afternoon. Finishing up the last of my coffee here. It's cold now. And sorry about the crazy hair. It's still wet. Doing its thing. Usually I dry it before I put it up, but it's gotten too hot outside to do that. So how is everyone on this fine Monday? Monday, July 8th. Already. How was your weekend? How was your 4th of July? My husband helped do some reorganization of furniture for me in this room, so I will have a little bit more space and a little bit more storage for organization of some crafty things and books and another full-on desk that is a lot smaller, but that I can just set up my camera to film from on a little tripod and make some simpler videos over there. We'll see how that goes. And then who knows, whenever I'm going to do like a backyard chit chat with coffee in the early morning or sit out in the backyard in the evening when it cools off and go on and talk to whoever shows up. Who knows? But today, I have a few things on my desk that I want to show you. I did make, this is a business envelope with the clear opening here for being able to see an address through. Painted it black, and then any of the spots that were left from scraping black paint on it, I used the Faber-Castell beeswax crayons. And from what I understand, that's from Faber-Castell's children's line. But honestly, they're really very awesome. But as you can imagine, nobody's going to be able to see through this to put an address there. And then this is too dark, obviously up here to write my return address on. So really quick, we're going to solve those problems and then look at a couple other things over here. So I have the typical Avery white labels that I'm going to go ahead and stick there. I'm going to reach over here for some of my markers and see what colors I can get my hands on. That's a good one. Yellow. I don't know about silver. There's plenty of black on there already. Ooh, blue. Okay. Ooh, gonna need some glue. This glitter paint that's over the top there looks like it does not want to let these stick. Never trust a sticker. Never trust washi tape. That's about the adhesive that comes on it already. It's always good to put extra of your own glue on to get good adhesion. There we go. We're going to do the same thing here. Yep. Oh, this one stuck a little bit better, but I'll as well make sure. So what is on everyone's crafty agenda today? Anyone doing anything fun? Junk journals for a junk journal a day for July. which I am not participating in. A little bit too much pressure to create something like that every single day. Let's do some blue around here. Just to help the edge of the white not be so stark. I think we'll do the opposite way. Over here, start with the yellow. What are your favorite colors? Oh, hi. What, Jen Scraps? How you doing? How you doing, Jen? My favorite color is brown, which I know a lot of people think is strange, but I like brown. And then I like oranges and greens. It's a dress. Thank you. And as is fashionable to say now, I thrifted it. Yes, I did. So it's a nice, cool, stretchy summer dress. I'm doing all right. I had an interesting weekend. By interesting, I mean, yeah, let's just leave it at interesting. Anything craft-wise was fine. Anything organization-wise was fine. When it came to family stuff, not my husband or my children, other family. Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. Difficult. You love all the colors? You love mint, peaches, yellows, greens, purples, teal. My daughter was a huge teal fan for the longest time. And then I went to buy her something a while back, and I can't remember what it was. Let me think now. Maybe it was a drinking cup, like a stainless steel, cup with a lid and the straw and the whole bit. And I automatically said, oh, hey, before I bought it, I'm like, hey, do you want the teal? Oh, I'm over that phase. I'm like, okay, you're 27, but I don't know when, teal wasn't your thing anymore. Hello, puppy. You going to try to cause trouble today? Are you going to try to cause trouble today? Oh, yes. And I do love peacocks with all their colors, too. I really do. I do have some fond memories of going to the zoo as a kid. And we went often. Oh, by the way, these are left over from the 4th of July. I haven't tried to scrub them real hard yet to get them off, but they're hanging in there pretty good. The rest of them are all real. Yeah, but lots of fun memories of going to the zoo when I was a kid. And they had peacocks, they just walk around on their own. And I loved it when they would stop and just, spread out their feathers for everyone to see. Yes, I tried to be super patriotic from the 4th of July. I went easy on them for the first couple of days, and then now I just have, let them be just to see how long it'll take to let them wear off on their own. If they start looking goofy, then I'll scrub real hard, I guess. All right, so this is done. Don't know who I'm going to send it to or what I'm going to put in it, but I have another envelope to do the same thing to. I don't know if we'll get to that today. I did want to show you some things that I bought myself off my own. You are members, so you go in with it. Yes, that's exactly how it was when I was a kid. We were members, and so we like went all the time. Um, Plus, there was a very well-known silverback male gorilla there that we sponsored or whatever, where basically you give money, to help for its care. So my parents, my dad and my stepmom at the time, they were very invested in getting their money's worth out of the zoo. So this is a pencil pouch with like the cutest woodland design on it. And it's lined with silky green, lime green fabric, which is a lime green I really do like out of the greens. And yeah, I'm all about pencil pouches and filling them up with either pencils or whatever other goodies that help keep my desk and the drawer underneath or wherever, less messy. The fewer things that are sitting out on their own for me, the better. So yeah, off my own Amazon wish list, I decided, you know what? It's been there. None of my family members have bought it for me for my birthday or for Mother's Day or for Christmas. And I'm just going to buy it for myself. So that's what I did. I think it was like $10 at the most, like 9 something. And it's a really sturdy canvas, and it's got, that wide bottom, about a 2.5 inch bottom. So I'm happy with it. Yeah. Do you ever buy stuff for yourself, Jen? Like buy yourself a Christmas present for yourself, buy yourself a birthday present for yourself. I buy myself flowers. And it's no offense to my husband. It's not like I'm saying, hey, you haven't bought me flowers, so I'm buying my own. I just really, every once in a while, like to have flowers. And I have a favorite color of roses. And if I happen to see them or while I'm at the grocery store, I get them for myself. Yeah, no one gets it. Yeah. I send out, hi, Dana. I send out the links, for Mother's Day, for my birthday, for Christmas. Christmas people cooperate, because that's a big one. And you'd think they'd cooperate better for my birthday, but, but my husband is very, very good. He did wonderful for Mother's Day. He literally bought me 2 outfits, I want to say, top and pants, straight from my Amazon wish list. So I was very proud of him. Now, I have to turn this up here so you guys can see me. I'm sure everyone's aware that I don't have, if you've seen me enough on here, I guess, that I don't wear the same glasses all the time. And that I do have some interesting looking glasses. And I have several pairs, actually kind of a collection. And I do need the glasses, and it's, prescription, no line bifocal. So every time I need a new prescription, I can either take back in the same frames I like still, or I can go online and get, that's my little tip. Other tip is, going online to where they sell glasses. And I just get the frames, with just the plastic lenses, and taken when we go to the eye doctor and have him do the lenses if anything's changed. You love my fun glasses, and you love my lights. That I picked out, and my husband hung it there, which I thought, oh gosh, it's in the way of all my shelves, blah, blah, blah. But it's real skinny wire, and they're really lightweight, and they just make it fun, So I thought, hey. So, okay, here we go. All right. I don't own any really cool sunglasses though. Okay, so this is the other thing I bought for myself off my Amazon wish list that sat there forever. It was only 15 bucks. They were only 15 bucks, but by gosh, they are like pretty sturdy. Okay, really quite sturdy. And I am in love with them. Like I will be outside in the backyard with stars of your favorite shape, stars and moons for me, and the sunshines. Um, and I'm by golly, I will be out in the backyard with these. Ooh, in the camera, they don't quite look as green as they really, really are. They look more of a, I don't know, they look more of an olivey green than they really are. But are these not the coolest, you guys? I know. The only problem is I won't be able to read anything. But that'll be fixed by my eye doctor too. And we are due to go. And I do think lately, I think I've been having a little bit of difficulty reading with the prescription I have, but I don't know. Sometimes that could be headache related or whatever. I know. Aren't they so 50s looking? Like, yeah. And 60s too, right? Like the whole cat's eye thing. Just these are, little cat's eye too. Um, so yeah. Wow, it really doesn't make it very dark in here since that light is so big. I think I'll keep them on. But this is the brand, if anybody wants to know. This came with the package. I don't have any clue how to say that except for the last word, club. And then it says, they embrace the joy of life. Let me see if I can read the back. Thank you for your purchase of Sloki Club. So maybe it's Sloki. No, Sloki Club eyewear. Sincerely hope that your life will be of difference because of purchasing from Story Club Eyewear. Your choice and the trust are the motivation for our progress. We continue to improve the quality of our products and services. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Blah, blah, blah. Looking forward to you for your review and feedback and wishing you a happy life, which I thought was cool. Gonna be a pinup gal? I don't know if I have the clothes for that, but I definitely have the hair that I can fluff up, and definitely have the glasses. So let's move my real glasses out of the way here for a minute so I can grab them if I need to. But see, now this is going to make a good tag. I'm going to write this down in the box that they came in and tag, bookmark, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to set that. Actually, I'm going to set that over here with. I've got a stash of things that can be made into other things. And going through some stuff the other day, I found this wasn't there at the time. I just did this recently, but this is just brown construction paper. That I glued together to make a small little, couple page book. And I decorated the front with these kinds of things. I'm like, it needs an image. So we might try to find an image amongst my already cut out magazine pieces. And I found my alphabet stamps, y'all. Hubby had them put away somewhere that I didn't even see them. They're all wood, and they're the typeset. I think they're the typeset font, aren't they? Let me see. I mean, that's questionable. There's the whole lowercase and uppercase. This one wants to pop up, so I don't know if it's sticking. Yeah, the foam is sticking to that other one. So yeah, this is a whole wooden piece to hold on to before you try to stamp anything, so it's not so small. So I haven't seen these in ages, and was not too long ago wondering where they were. And poof, I found them yesterday. Alphabet and number and symbol. Stamp size 9 by 12 by 40 millimeters and 70 pieces. And this is a nice quality good wooden box. So I'm happy to have found those. The other thing I found is, look at that. See what that says? Santa. Yep, Santa. And it's a sealed up envelope from Oliver. When we had him, I'm going to move this light just a little bit. When we had him, that didn't really help. There we go. When we kind of stay in here, this is difficult. When we had him write a letter to Santa, the best he could, 12/9/2016. So that was what, almost 8 years ago this Christmas. And Oliver is now 20. So I just keep going back and forth between, do I open it? Do I not open it? Is it going to make me sad? Am I going to start crying? Am I going to start comparing, his writing and the things he wanted as a 12-year-old versus the things he wants now as a 20-year-old? Disabled child. Flippy Flappy book. I was so excited when I found that. And I thought, that construction paper, if you fold it and like glue enough pieces of them together and stuff, it's pretty firm. So yeah, I'm leaning towards don't open it and then just stick it in his Frog and Toad book, because I've got a pile that I am saving for Frog and Toad. And I think that's what I'm going to do with that. Oh, and I finished my postcards recently. These are, they started out as a pretty wimpy sheet of paper and got 4 postcards out of it. But there's so much collage paper on it and then paint over it and so on and so forth. So that one's like, what does it say? My dear, or my baby sunshine. Your perpetual shining smile brightens my every day. So I was thinking of drawing or putting like yellow paint, like a quarter sun right there with some sun rays, just because it deals with sunshine. And mailing it to my daughter. And this one, where there is great love, there are always miracles. And I think it's, Willa Carter. And then this is from a magazine, and that it's never too late. Never too late for a miracle, and never too late to show love. You never know. You may be the miracle, that love that you show to someone in kindness may be the miracle for that person's day. This one is, half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half of who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. And that's from Robert Frost. And that's why I put this guy down here. Like, He's one of those that has nothing really to say and just keeps on talking. So I thought that was fun. Yeah, I made these. You're going to call the sewing machine tomorrow? Okay. Oh, I understand. I've got 2 that I need to actually take over and have serviced. And I'm really kind of nervous about doing that because I know, like you're saying, they don't work real fast, those guys. I mean, they did when the sewing machine belonged to my husband's grandma. One of them is quite a fancy. That one is quite a fancy machine, and she was a frequent customer at their little sewing shop. So, and she had money to spend. So the machine that I inherited is able to do things I have no idea even how to fathom yet. So, but it needs tuning up, and I'm not using it until it gets tuned up. The other one is a vintage Singer machine that has like the cover over the top with the handle that you snap down on top of the machine. And that one started acting up after a while too. So I inherited it from a friend, so I don't know how long it's been since that one's been serviced either. So they both got to go. Yeah, a lot of the local ones closed for you. Transported to Denver. Oh my word. Well, I guess then maybe I'm just hoping that local shop is even still there. I mean, a lot of things happened to businesses, especially small, family owned or single store businesses, with the events over the last few years. And this one says poetry is all that is worth remembering in life, by William. Oh, Lord, I am going to have to switch back. By William Hazlitt. Oh, look, I look so much brighter now. But these are like heavy. Super good. $200 for service down here, but yours was still under warranty. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, I'm totally going to have to pay, I'm sure. But I haven't been able to use them for so long because I have put it off that, goodness, this hair. Whatever it takes, is what it takes. So I'm just going to have to back these with nicer paper, stamp postcard across the top, send them off to 4 people. And the other thing, it looks like my husband found, was both of us were doing this kind of thing at the same time. Watercoloring, just on a piece of watercolor paper. And his looks different than mine. Mine's much more vibrant, dark colors. And then the idea was to go around each color shape with black. And he started his, but he hasn't finished his yet. But he found both of them, again, tucked away under some papers. So this one just needs some touch up on some of these black areas. There's, the lines are not so perfectly covering the colors that they're going around. So that I have in store for myself. Oh, let's see. And then this morning, while I was, watching some news on YouTube and seeing what was going on, these are the faces that came up, probably inspired by the news that I was hearing, putting me in a mood. And so I just make watercolor blobs and take pen ink and go around them in whatever way. And this guy turned into a pig. I don't know, this guy's kind of a monster. She looks, her over here. She, besides the ears, looks a little more Sailor Moonish to me. This is like a pea baby. I don't know. Somebody's grandma, maybe. And if a cloud had a face. Haha, you're missing the orange man. Where's the orange man? Oh, here. This? What orange man? Oh, I don't have an orange man. Yeah, gosh, I didn't do orange, did I? That would have been an easy thing to turn an orange blob into. So anyway, and this lady here, I'll be able to, after I cut her out, this is supposed to be a wrap around her hair. So I'll be able to, after I cut her out, be able to define that a little differently. Maybe go back in with a little bit more watercolor. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of things like this that I just doodle. And after I don't draw first, I watercolor blob first. And generally, these are pretty big compared to what I normally do. And yeah, the purple lady is a little scary. Like, I don't know. Her nose is a little freaky. And those eyebrows look like she probably painted them on. She's got a perm. I don't know. She's somebody's scary, crazy aunt. Who knows? But then I end up gluing them in journals, gluing them on other projects, gluing them on things I send to people, that kind of thing. So I got out some, let's move these lovelies so they don't get anything on them. Oh, good. It's got the lens, the wipe has their name on it too. So I won't forget. I can use that as a that card as a bookmark or whatever I want to. Oh, find your perfect pair. I will not send you the purple lady. She a little too scary for you? It's the hands and the teeth. This is just copy paper. Let me move these out of our way. And a lot of times I do just start with copy paper. Not always watercolor paper. Oops, hold on. I shouldn't have put the watercolors away, but I did. Well, look out. I've been randomly making envelopes of stuff for people and sending all kinds of things. I'll just have to remember, Jen, not if I send one your way that you don't want the purple scary lady. All right. One of these days, I really will have this other camera over here that I have right up here, aimed down here so that it can switch back and forth and not have to wobble you guys all around. Sorry, I'm getting stuck on the blanket that the dog is laying on. I got two doggies behind me here. Hold on. The wheels of my chair. Hi, baby. Hi, babies. Such good babies. Okay. Oh, maybe before we get started actually doing this, let's find an image for this. Because another thing I found in our reorganization efforts was what I have left of an Ann Getty's image book. So I took it all apart, used some stuff, didn't use other things, but this is what I've got left of it. That's actually very much a possibility. Just not having it as big as it is, just trimming it down a little, putting it on the front. The colors are good. There's red in there. That might be the good thing. Yeah, you get used to wobbly cameras on YouTube. And then there's the little pumpkin on the back with the baby in it. Cute! So that I may just have to cut out too so that I can just, get rid of this whole piece. What else is there? This is just leaves and tree trunks. And then there's these guys, which I think is too cutesy for what I'm going for. But these are the pages too that have the spaces for pictures. And there's the other side of that page. Oh, not a very good stacker. And then on the back side is more of the pumpkin. So I might save that for fall. I try to do an autumn/Halloween journal. At least every year, every other year. So that would be a good one for that. I guess here is more of where those leaves and nature came in. Isn't that adorable? Turned into a little fairy asleep on a quote-unquote log. All that CGI. Making that baby look teeny tiny. I don't know if I want to cut that little baby out of there. Yeah, they were so popular back in the day. And then here's part of the Purple Lilac crew. Which I think they're absolutely adorable. But the purple does not go with the front of that page. And then we get into Christmas with, gingerbread men. And a big gingerbread man. Baby with lots of gingerbread cookies around him. Oh, and behind that are these two. I don't know what I think of the red ones, but the yellow one's kind of cute. Definitely not purple for what we're looking for, but maybe the red with black, one of the three of them. Yeah, I mean, I realized they were so popular back in the day, and this is like super, super, super sturdy. I don't even know what you call it. It's not even cardstock. There's another word for it, I'm sure, because it's really heavyweight. But I like to cut them apart like this, like just even these borders with the geraniums all the way around. Just cut them into sections. I mean, and it's like, where's Waldo? Like, where's the baby? Where is the baby amongst all of the geraniums? Adorable. Like, I could cut out all those geraniums and just leave the one that the baby and the little light lavender one that's on top of its head. Wouldn't that be adorable? Yeah, the frames are nice too. I thought about that. Whoops. And then there's the bumblebee baby. And obviously, a lot of these were full page, which isn't going to suit what I'm looking for unless I cut it into pieces. Here is the rest of the baby bumblebee stuff. Pots with flowers and a corner flowers, which must have been on the opposite side of this, which is just too flippin' cute. But again, pink and blue, not really what we're going for on the front of that page. Not even if I cut it down. Then there comes the peas for the peas in a pod. The peas in the pod picture. Absolutely adorable. obviously easy to cut out one by one too. And so we are back at the beginning again. So I think that of all of our choices here, we really just only have that front page one. Lily pads, right? I love lily pads. Oof. So I think what I'm going to do is cut slightly down, just trim each edge so it's two separate pages, and then this one can still be intact and can be a mat over something. Instead of like sliding down photos in between, it can still be a mat over, where you can put something behind it still. Wish me luck, because I'm just going to do this with scissors. And this is, ooh, okay. This is pretty heavy duty paper. I just don't know how far in they've got it connected to each other. Yep. Still farther in than that. Wow. They've really got it pretty far in. Hold it up to the, I can hold it up to the, I can see it when I hold it up to the light. I'm sure you guys probably can't, but it's about another almost half inch. Okay, so that's, I'm going to have to put it on, put it on all three sides. Oof. The name always reminds you of Anne Griffin. Oh, yep. All right. This is the last side. This is going to be evened out when I go to use it, because I am not cutting it very straight, nor taking as much off on each side. So we will save this as a mask, as a mat for over something, even if I take the baby pumpkin off the bottom. And now let's get into cutting this little guy out. I say little guy, it could be a little girl, I don't know. Sitting there naked, practically. Saving. I don't know about you guys, but I like saving my heavy duty cardstock cut off pieces. I like whatever this is considered super duper heavyweight. And it's shiny on the one side, but then matte on the other side, so it's real usable. All right. And I do have a thing of scraps for this kind of stuff that I paint on. Stick these down here. So my husband is going back and forth through the door. He still works from home. Okay, no, that's obviously too much, but I don't want to lose the red that's in here, so I don't think I want to cut too much into it. And I really don't want it to be square, because this base is already square. And this is just cut off pieces from sewing for a little bit of texture, and I don't want to really hide all that either. And I'm just not somebody who's into super symmetrical straight lines if I don't have to. Sometimes you gotta, but then there are other times, and I like those other times. Okay, let's cut off this bottom in a wavy kind of, at least awkward bottom so it's not so straight. Where is my file? Maybe I can just use this. This is fine sandpaper. I just want to sand these edges. And I'll probably end up going around them with black like I did here. I don't want white edge. That is still kind of big. I'm thinking of cutting off maybe a little bit more, most of this side over here. Ugh, still, you guys. Did I have a party for the 4th? No. We had a very quiet 4th. A lot of holidays around here, most holidays around here for us are quiet. You know, we may have our grown children. I have one grown child who has our only 2 grandchildren. She does live nearby. And then my 2 sons live out of state. But it was nice that they were all here for Christmas last year. But most often we don't really have like a whole bunch of people or anyone really at all. I'm going to do this again here since I cut these areas. My husband supplies me with all kinds of sandpaper. All I have to do is ask. And he digs it out for me. He's quite the handy guy. So he has all this kind of stuff. Even made me a tool bag of my own. Yeah, they came in for Christmas. Let's see. One had already moved out to Arizona earlier last year, and my oldest son and his girlfriend were still living in Utah, where he had moved out to with his dad several years ago. So everybody came, and then my daughter, like I said, was already here with her husband and I don't know, you guys. Because if I put it off center, then there is room for words. I had last Christmas too, right before, not too long before Christmas, found out that I had melanoma, and had to have surgery and have a lymph node removed too. So that was actually done like 4 days before Christmas. So I pretty much sat on the couch and everybody hung out with me. Oh, you are originally from Arizona. Yeah, my dad and my youngest sister are out there. nobody's from there, but that's who's out there. And then my middle son moved out there with some friends that were already there. That he knew from high school, since high school, early high school. All right, now this is a little more like it, because we can still see. I don't know, what do you think? And then some sort of words. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jen. I have a very big scar on my back upper right shoulder blade. And then there's things that they're still watching. So I have, the frequent visits still. And she punched something off my left trapezoid from my neck to your shoulder. That's trapezoid muscle. And they haven't heard back from her yet. She punched it off right there in the visit at my every 3-month visit. And I have my every 4-month visits to the surgical oncologist. And they kind of check me over and check the lymph nodes too. That way I'm checked pretty often until they don't find anything. And you've been good for so long. Oh, she's a breast cancer survivor too. Oh, wow. That's awesome. But, breast cancer, that's a rough road. My dad had a little bit of skin cancer thing removed from the top of his head because he shaves his head. Hairs grows in all gray and whatever, and he has a tattoo actually on the top of his head. So once he shaved it off, he got that tattoo. It was his now retired but favorite baseball player. Got baseball with that guy's signature on it. But then he had that skin cancer removed right smack dab in the middle of that baseball. Ruined that tattoo. But his was only squamous cell, not the best, not the basal cell stuff, but not the melanoma either. So he's good. But other than that, there's only been colon cancer, and that was actually him too. Nobody with breast cancer or anything. Your aunt is too, and you consider yourself too because you had 2 breast surgeries because of it. Oh, girl. Oh, that is just so rough to hear. And even rougher, I'm sure, for you guys to deal with. The whole running thing about it running in families too. Did anybody do any of the gene testing to see if they carry that gene? Just so you know, I guess. Maybe not necessarily do anything radical like some people have done, I guess, about cutting them off ahead of time. Although that's a personal choice, obviously. I guess I called it radical. But it does seem a little radical. But I guess if you find out that you have the gene, it can be a very scary thing to think that, is it going to happen to me? When's it going to happen to me? I'm going to set this aside and let the glue set and worry about a word for it in a little bit. But let's go back here to doing some, let me get some paper towel for underneath, just because I know myself. And myself has always made messes. All right. Good old Selecticize. This is just a basic set. I don't even know the brand anymore. I don't think it's even listed anywhere. Just a basic set I got when I was spending some time out in Arizona with my family when my stepmom passed away. Everybody got out there ahead of time. One of my sisters actually didn't make it till the next day. You're okay, Lo? No, I don't think so, but I've definitely thought about getting most of it. Oh, wow. Well, it's always an option. And it's not like surgeons won't do it. It's not like they consider it extreme, especially when you've got that gene and you've had some issues already and you've got it in your family twice over already. Hello, puppy. You want a pet? You want a pet? All right. Whoops. Totally generic set, guys. And I really should find my spray bottle so I can spray over these to start with and just go from there. Sometimes I shut my eyes when I do this just to see what kind of shape ends up coming out, and then filling it in when it's got empty spots. What are you doing? Trying to climb up here? Huh? You trying to climb up here? You can't get up here, little boy, when mommy's crafting. He wants to sit in my lap. Poor booger. All right. Oh, yes, Jen. Maybe you could just have a reduction in general. I'm sure that's not good for your back also, that weight. Come here. Come here. Okay, well then don't act like you want to come up here, chicken butt. Okay. Pink lilac, this says. Here we go. Oh, and don't let me forget. Got to do an orange guy. Oh, looks like we need a little bit more. Did that with my eyes closed too, so I'm going to have to fill it in. Some of them can be turned into flowers. I don't do all faces. I've gone through different periods of making clothes and flowers, and I don't even know what else. A lot of these blobs. Oh, I did pumpkins and gourds and whatnot for around Halloween last year. They're just fun to have to stick in as your own art ephemera. Your chicken. I know I hate surgery too. The thing I hate about surgery, not to mention like if there's pain from recovery or whatever, I also just don't like coming out of anesthesia. I don't mind any of the rest of it. I don't mind being put out. I don't mind getting an IV. I don't mind any of anything. Just don't like waking up. Reminds you of Beth's creations too? Yeah. Yep. Red. I promised to do orange. Let's go back and forth this way. See what happens. Huh. Okay. Let's fill her in a little. Hope nobody is in danger in Texas. Those tornadoes from the Hurricane Beryl, which apparently is being used as a female name this time. They go back and forth between a list of male and female names that they pick out every year. I know there's a couple of meteorologists that have amazing radar. Here comes the orange, guys. Orange or orange red? Let's start with orange just because we can always darken then. A couple of YouTube meteorologists that have like all the fancy equipment and all the storm chasers and whatever else. That it's almost better to watch them than to worry about like the Weather Channel or app on your phone or anything like that. Not to mention, it's also very interesting to see what they get to see live and to see the radar way up in the sky. Okay, that'll be our orange man. Yeah, I think it's one of those names that can be used for male and female, but it's a really kind of old-fashioned name. Kind of like my name. My name can actually be used as male or female, but you drop the last E if it's going to be male. Let's see. Yellow. You just went to the city where the movie Twister was filmed, into the museum. Ooh, what was that like? I'm not afraid of tornadoes. I've kind of grown up where we've had a lot of tornadoes. But the year after I graduated high school, a really historical, significant kind of tornado came through the town I went to school in and came through on its path through the town next to it, 2 towns next to it, and was really just too close for comfort. And my biology teacher actually was in the building setting up for school. It happened right when football players were outside practicing, and teachers were setting up their classrooms, and he was in there setting up his classroom. And when the whole top of the building got ripped off, he lost his life. His wife worked at the school too. He was science, and she, I want to say, was English teacher. I'm not really sure because I didn't have her for any kind of teacher. Yeah, so I can't say I'm afraid of them. I have a healthy respect and respect and fear of nature and what nature can do. Having lived up, here all the time, just all we really have had to worry about has been tornadoes. I can't imagine living where there's earthquakes. The idea of the earth cracking and shifting and shaking and whatever, to me, is a very, very, very scary thought. And I don't want to live where there's hurricanes and all that water. hurricanes, just being kind of like, they produce tornadoes too, just basically tornadoes over the water that come over the inland. And that just scares the bejesus out of me. Okay. I think that fills this page. I moved this from upstairs because I really wasn't putting any plant stems in it, cute little flower stems in it. And so it fits a couple things on my desk for me. Always trying to think outside the box too. Excuse me while I have a little sip. Thirsty. Ooh, and I'm a loud sipper, sorry. These stainless steel straws, I swear. All right, I'm going to put that to the side while I get my last people out. Let's cut them out. I don't want to use the big scissors if I don't have to, but I have to do a little digging in here to find if I brought down any smaller scissors. And I thought I had, but going through this other little pouch of mine, I don't think there are. But I have found this very handy. It's called Slice by Fiskars. And you're able to use your finger this way. And that is a plastic knife blade in there. And it's, good for when you don't have to necessarily cut intricately. So I found that very useful for other things. I guess I'm stuck with the big scissors. But as they say, you move the paper, not the scissors. How many of you guys like to fussy cut? Or do you call it cussy futting? Cussy futting, fussy cutting? I actually find it relaxing to cut. All right, there's one. I don't know if she's upside down to you. Oh, you too? You find it? Oh, good. See, I knew I wasn't alone. Seems like lots of people really don't like it, but there's a select few of us that actually do. I don't remember where you're at, Jen. Me being up here near outside a Chicago suburb. But I can't remember where you are. Let's see if we can. A little easier on myself. Oh, that's right. You're in Colorado. What you got going on in Colorado these days? How's your weather? How's the state of your state? Status of your state? I don't know if I've even driven through Colorado because I've driven between Illinois and Utah several times in my younger years. And I don't think we went up through Colorado We kind of went through Wyoming and over. It rained in small hail. Oh, ooh. Yeah, they say we're going to get some rain maybe tomorrow, left remnants of Burl, as they have named her. I'm going to cut the hand off here. It's getting to be real expensive, pretty expensive. Oh, yeah, that's rough. That's everything's getting to be expensive, but yeah, when it starts to get California expensive, that's a whole nother beast. I have a friend who lived in Colorado Springs, and then also just she moved in just outside of Colorado Springs, who is now being the single lady that she is. Um, Saved up her money, bought herself a used van with low mileage on it, and turned it into something she can not only drive but live out of. So she has for the last several months been. Oh, I just pulled off the whole arm, you guys. Okay, I guess this little cloud face guy doesn't need arms anyhow. So she has been living life on the road at her leisure. Oh, you live in the Springs too? Cool. There's a music guy I follow on YouTube from Colorado Springs, and sometimes he mentions that same stuff you were saying about how expensive it's getting and whatever. And he's got a young family. Like I think a 5 or 6 year old, and then they just had another baby. I imagine it's beautiful though. It's got to be. The pictures that my friend has sent me before she packed up and went on the road, all of those things seemed to be amazingly beautiful. Amazingly beautiful. And then the winters, she'd show me the winters, which, were reminiscent of what we have here. We just don't have the mountains. It's all flat here in Illinois. Only 432 feet, or 23 feet above sea level. So as you can imagine, we are like flat land. If it wasn't for Chicago, Illinois would be just a bunch of farmland still. Oh, yeah. Both of my sons were raised here, and all of my kids were raised here in Illinois. But when their father and I got divorced, their father moved back and forth between here and Utah, and eventually remarried a woman from Utah. So when the boys were youngerish adults, their dad was here for a certain amount of time and was going back to Utah, and both of the boys decided they would go and see what it was like to, live with their dad and form a relationship with him differently than what they had just from visitation. And I asked the other one the other day, actually, I'm like, oh, so do you like the mountains and whatever, and you hike and whatever? He's like, oh yeah, I've hiked a few times. He's not really an outdoors guy, but he finds them beautiful, which I did too when I lived in Utah for a year of college in Utah, BYU. But when I first got there, though, you guys, total and complete, like the mountains freaked me out so bad. I literally felt sick. So current hubby is, yes, and he's also Oliver's daddy. So, guys, I got so sick, I couldn't even look at the mountains for over a week. I would literally get just feeling like I was going to lose my stomach. I'll try not to use her crazy hands here. Cut out these fingers. The mountains in Arizona are really beautiful too. Well, we did live some time, my first husband and the older three kids. We did live a couple years, 2.5 years, I think, in New Mexico. And we did a lot of hiking and being up in the mountains. You're on number, I can't see that with my that heart thing there. You're on number, let me move this here. You are on number 3, but he's a keeper. You know what? That was the same thing for my dad and my stepmom. When they found each other, they were both each other's number 3. And then they were married for, goodness sakes, 1986 until she passed away in 2022. So yeah, she was a keeper. And as a stepmom, she was a keeper too. I did have like I said, my dad, was also on his 3rd. I did have obviously a stepmom in between my mother and the long-standing wonderful stepmother that we lost in 2022. But I refer to that first stepmother as my step monster. Yeah. 13 years. Yeah, this month we are going to be 21 years. Yeah. Which doesn't add up with Oliver, I know, because he's 20, but he was born 12 weeks early, and we actually spent our first anniversary in the NICU. So that's how that went. Spent 7 months in the NICU. So that was interesting. Not interesting. I shouldn't say it was interesting. Well, it was in a way, but I mean, learning a lot, but it was, very stressful. Not just for my own child, but you start to learn a lot about what's going on, and you realize what's happening to other babies when alarms and things go off and people go rushing. Luckily, it was a small NICU, so they were very good with the parents as well. Okay, piggy time. Time to cut out the pig. Have you all seen, I don't know if any of you guys are like on Instagram or TikTok, but a lot of those TikTok videos end up over on Instagram. But what is it with all these duck and chicken little videos? Like everybody wants to supposedly own a duck or multiple ducks and chickens. I can understand the chickens, because you can get eggs, but I suppose you can get duck eggs too. But these videos are like of super silly things that they do, and I find it entertaining. But it's just become like, wow, so much of it. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in the news. That was part of what made me want to just not even read any more of it, turn it off, and turn on a live video of myself just sitting here doing some crafting, chit and chatting with all y'all. Yeah, very, very sad. I mean, I realize there's collateral damage in war, but to purposely bomb a children's hospital is, I believe, a war crime. And even if it's a war crime and somebody gets prosecuted for it after the fact, it doesn't bring those children and those hospital workers and whatever, doesn't bring them back again. Let's see. Make this cool. These two are really close to each other here. That's what happens when I close my eyes and do this. I end up with some that are so close to each other. Oh, of course they're saying it's an accident. It's always an accident, right? I mean, there are those kind of things too, but is Russia saying it was an accident? Wait a second. What did you say, Russia? Where did they bomb? Where did Russia, remind me, where did they attack? Oh, in Ukraine, right? In the Ukraine. Oh my gosh. Just what we need is for that to heat up now. Worse than it had been going already. Yeah. Just looks like so much of Ukraine is just destroyed. And I guess think about Britain in World War II. The Nazis bombed the hell out of them. The whole nation practically had to be rebuilt. I can appreciate the fact that at least, as with our American military, if we go in and put our troops somewhere and we, get territory or land back from whoever the quote unquote bad guy is, we don't claim it as our own. If we're helping a third party against a bigger enemy, we don't just claim it as our own because we liberated it or whatever. We give it back to who it belonged to. Wondering when they will finally admit. Yeah. So many people saying that we're on the brink of it. But honestly, with all that's going on in this world, besides actual war, traditional war, there's plenty of other things going on that make you wonder if it's going to be more of a modern third one. I don't know. It's just really sad. I can only watch so much of that, y'all, and it kicks in my anxiety and I'm not up for that. I don't watch it on TV anymore. I tend to try to just watch clips on YouTube, so it's just a little bit here and there. Which one was cute? This last one? Yeah, I thought it looked a little Sailor Moonish with Spock ears. I gave her hoop earrings on her ears. This is kind of reminiscent of me. I don't have square ears like this, but I used to have, I have these 3 down here still, but I used to have many more piercings, including hoops up here at the top on both sides. I didn't give her a nose ring or a lip ring, but I do have those too. Yeah, just watch here and there on YouTube, have a little of what you can handle, and that's it. My dad's a Vietnam vet, was in the Navy on a aircraft carrier refueling aircraft, and they usually tell veterans with PTSD, which they've told him, to not watch the news, especially when things like this are going on. But he is kind of invested in what's going on politically, so he calls me when he's seen something and wants to know what I think. All right, here comes the cutout of Mr. Orange. Oh, you know what? Normally I don't cut out before I... Oh, okay. Before I take the ink to it, I don't cut out. So I'm going to set this one over here. Grab my pen. This is nothing special, though, you guys, but it is these Papermate Profile, as well as the, what is it, the G2, Pilot G2, I think. Yeah, the Pilot G2. Those are really good for outlining, too. Yeah. 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 I get that. Oliver's not interested in the news anyway, but yeah, my older kids, they weren't as interested in the news too much, at least as teenagers. Although when the oldest one was like maybe 8, and I was going through my divorce and it was just kids and I live in an apartment together, he asked for a radio. He wanted to listen to the radio before, in bed before he fell asleep. He actually was listening to the news. And he's the one who's, probably most up on whatever's going on in the world as well. My daughter cares more about, obviously, things going on for families and her children and whatever. Her kids are little. Yeah, childhood PTSD trauma can really make the news, especially with what's going on for a lot of kids these days. That's a wise thing to have him avoid. So this will be a flower of some sort. I'll detail that later. But I'll put the circle in the middle so I remember that's a flower. Okay. Let's see what I can do about just going as close to the edge as I can and still trying to be whimsical, since I already cut this puppy out. Now it doesn't really look so much like a sun unless I cut that part out down there and do the outline. We'll see. All right. Have I used the Pentel matte hop pens yet? You know what? I have not even heard of those. I'm so behind the ball on like the newest and latest and greatest or whatever craft supplies, papers, etc. And I don't tend to jump too quickly on a new thing until I kind of see people like use it. But I haven't even heard of that, so I haven't seen anybody use it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Jen. Have you used them, or have you just seen what people are doing with them? What's so special about them, or what makes them different? Pentel matte hop pens. So are they for literally like kind of, are they like good for crafting? Are they meant to just be an office supply but can be used for crafting? It's a thick ball point pen. How thick? Because I do not like fine point pens myself. I like a, what is this one? This one's like, yeah, so this one's thicker. It's a 1.4. It's not even a 1.0. So this is probably like your extra thick. And what are people doing with the thick ballpoint pen? Or have you just found out about these yourself? You're asking me if I've used them. Are they good for in the journal writing and journal making kind of process, journal pages and whatever? Oh, they are 1.0 and you just got a few. So they come in multiple colors? Is that the deal? I never used to really want to use colored pens. Everything was always a black pen. And I think that stems from having, nurses in our house all the time. And when they did charting by hand instead of electronic charting like they do now, everything was written and it had to be in black pen. Now everything, even at the doctor's office, is so electronic that you don't even really sign with a pen either. You sign on some sort of sign pad, kind of like when you use a credit card or whatever at the store. You were going to try them for doodles. Oh, that's probably a very, very good idea. Especially since I'm not a fan of the really, of fine or very fine, not even for markers, really. I do have some fine felt tip colored markers, but those are kind of just maybe here and there outline, but they really don't get used very often. I much prefer my more thick and broader ballpoint pens or markers that are easier for me to manage. I don't know. Even when I was just writing with them, I preferred the thicker. I think that's what got me started with fountain pens too. I would choose thicker nibs on those. You use the fine sometimes, but you love the thicker pens too. I'm going to cut that white off there yet. I figure out what that's going to be. So I will cut these out, and then since that one is designated as a flower, and then we have the orange designated for the orange man, we'll do those two. And I will save these others for another time. I forget, Jen, do you have like a stamp for your for the work that you do and that you sell? Like for your name, your business name? I haven't seen my granddaughter's baby book in a while, so I don't remember. You do not. Well, if you want to do it in ink, I have had amazing luck at having Staples do my signature and my initials, and also do like all of our family members' names for back when we would send out Christmas cards. And I got tired of writing every single person's name on all those things. So you just go into their copy area and you can pick which size and whatever, and they just have you write what you want to write for the stamp, and then the stamp is made. And it's a self-inking stamp, and you refill it every so often. I still have never in all these years had to refill mine, but I started to get it because I was signing also so many papers for medical stuff for Oliver, and it was ridiculous. I mean, I would have packets of mail that came in for my signature with 20 some odd sheets, and it wasn't just my signature. It would be initials somewhere else on the page or another page, and then the date and whatever. It's crazy. But for crafting, I also just went through Amazon, where they offer, some companies offer where you can customize. And so I got an embosser that just squeezed what I wanted onto there, the design, and I forget what I actually put on there. And then I got another specialized stamp thing too. I think that says, handmade with love, and then my name or logo inside. I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a while, which I'm no longer Little Red Wagon, so I don't think it has the wagon on it, so I could be in luck and still be able to use that. All right, away go the scissors. Back to the pen. This flower is going to be the easiest one, right? Oh, I know. But you know what? I tried to get when I did it, I ended up with Your Little Red Wagon. But initially I thought I just wanted Little Red Wagon, but somebody had already had that. And then I realized that at the time, Oliver was a lot younger, and it was always, do you want to go for a ride in your, a walk in your little red wagon? Because he had, it wasn't really very little. It was kind of a big wagon, and it pulled a um, trailer for his oxygen tank. So that's how I thought, oh well, if I can't just have little red wagon, I would just make it your little red wagon. But everybody called me Red or Red Wagon. I still answer to all that stuff. Okay, here's some ears for the little listening. Your son had a red wagon. That was your hubby's. Oh, that's so sweet. Was it was it Ryder? Ryder? Red Wagons? Is that the big company name? I forget now. Ryder, Ryder. All right, now we got to make a comb over, guys. A serious comb over. It kind of comes even down too far, in my opinion. Too far. Looks like it's aquanetted hairspray in place. It looks rather fine, and just so the wind doesn't blow it, right? He does have a bit of a chin down here. Shall we make him angry? Angry eyebrows. They're kind of bushy too, aren't they? Oh, what is the nose? I gotta think of the nose. Closing my eyes and trying to think. Yeah, I think it was Little Ryder Red Wagon. We always all had the metal ones, right? When we were younger. Should I do the eyes and then the nose? What are the shape of his eyes? Let me think. It's kind of got eyes that don't necessarily open so much that you see. But you see this. And this is going to have to come up and over more. And of course, watch me not be able to replicate this. Eyeball on the other side. I am not, nor do I claim to be a drawer. Not necessarily good at drawing, but I am willing to make things look however they end up. I don't think his eyes are so far apart. I'll try to thicken some of this up, and he does have some under the eye bags. Oh goodness, I don't want to have to look at a picture of him to figure out this nose. You love drawing, but you're not a realistic artist. Yeah, there's no way I could be a realistic artist. These are my versions of drawing, and I like the way I do it, where you just kind of make the watercolor blob or the paint blob first, and then just figure out what to turn it into. Because that just feels more creative to me. Got kind of a big nose. But I am definitely not a realistic drawer. So this is almost a caricature too, right? And a unskilled drawing to boot. He does have some crow's feet too. The mouth. Oh my God, the mouth is always open, talking. Oh goodness. So let's see. I forget what this area is called right there, but he has a rather pronounced one. There's a name for this right here. This space underneath your nose. I just can't remember what it is. He seems to have pretty pronounced one, but see, his lips aren't very thick. They're pretty thin and not very shapely. But let's make him have a big open mouth, because that's usually the case. And that's fine. Whatever. And his I'm going to go with that he probably has what do you call it? Implants, dental implants. His teeth are just looking too perfect for his age. Unrealistic. Just like other kinds of plastic surgery, that kind of thing can be very often ends up looking very unrealistic. I don't know, now he looks too young. This might be Junior. Orange Man Junior. Eye needs to be darker. Okay. Oh, that looks so yellow because of the light I have, probably. But it's orange. Very, very orange. It doesn't even look orange against me, but it's orange. Maybe I'll send it to you, Jen. Cupid's bow. Yeah. But there's like a medical technical term for it too, and that's the word I can't always remember. It seems to have a little bit of bumpy kind of skin. to look like he hasn't shaved, but it's kind of like his skin is bumpy and uneven. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I wish both sides would pick someone younger and new. Right? Right? Right. Now, I have known about RFK, Robert um, Kennedy Jr., for quite some time through his work as an environmental lawyer, then turned also advocate for safe water, and I think he created the Children's Health Defense, and is part of that to make things in the world safer for kids, safer for everybody, actually. But in that program or that foundation, whatever it is, corporation, I don't know, is specifically about children. And I know he was a Democrat in the past. His family's always been Democrat. He's got ideas that are kind of from both sides. And so my daughter is fond of him because of his stance on safe food, safe water, safe everything. I don't know that I need to make sure she knows that there's more about him. And is he younger? Yeah, he's a little bit younger. Seems to be in much greater physical shape. I know that the raspiness in his voice, he had some sort of medical issue in his throat. So the raspiness and kind of breath support issue he has, trying to speak is a little unsettling to listen to. Yeah. Yep. And whether they go there with good intentions or not, somehow it always turns out that, it's about money, who can do what for who. So it's, yeah, I'm a little unnerved about the next few months as we wait to see what's going to happen. And yeah, that's what my dad calls about. He's unnerved about the next couple of months too, and how the world is going to see us. Yes, deep breath. Here we go. Yeah, I've had my fill of that for today. I do have some videos in my playlists that have to do with some reactions to some political videos or music videos and whatever. Until I have more reaction videos, I'm just kind of lumped them all together into reaction videos and as a part of a playlist that's available. And when I get enough of whatever each kind I can start by music, I'll start separating out first, because I probably won't do very much in the way of politics, because it's unnerving, and we're not in a really good place. And I don't want to keep myself there. Swig of coffee. Here we go. One more sip and I'm done. All right. Okay. Put away the good pen. Set this to the side because that's got to go into the Oliver pile. These guys are done. These guys are left to be. Let me look at y'all. Ooh, I've got a dog growling at another dog because he's getting too close to him or getting too close to his food. Or what do you want? You don't want him to come sit by you? There's a dog bed, like I said, and then blankets, and there's enough room for the three of them. They're all small. This is what my hair does when I put it up wet, guys. It just goes all over the place. Not that it's much better dry. Coffee and crafts make everything better, right? I don't know if you were around when Crafting Mamas was doing. Shelley was doing a whole lot more live streams, and we would always talk about how it was craft or cry. Craft or cry. And then I always kind of said, meditate or murder. Although that's not a word YouTube likes. Just a joke, YouTube. Just a joke. Just a joke. Although craft or cry is not a joke. I think crafting saves a lot of people. I know, though, for me, crafting and or journaling was something that at the lowest times for me, the hardest times for me, I would just completely stop. Like with the death of my mother, the death of my stepmother, other family things that have happened over the years. Of course, my divorce stuff, whatever. Just completely stopped writing. No journaling. Had been a very good journaler up until that, the divorce point, and then picked it up again with all this crafting once I found all these friends on YouTube. But the bigger the emotional funk I'm in, the more I probably need to be journaling and need to be meditating, but it's like the absolute opposite of what I do. So that's why I am grateful for my husband, who has set all of this up for me here to make it impossible for me to say that I can't make videos. You've been struggling since the world has been so crazy, and after one of my friends on YouTube commented or comments on one of your YouTube friend comments. Oh, committed. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I know who that is. But wow. Yeah. That's a difficult thing. Another word YouTube doesn't want to let us say. But you know what? It goes along with a lot of anxiety and depression that's real prevalent nowadays. And a lot of people are struggling with their mental health. And the more we can just support each other and do things, even if we have to make ourselves, like I told myself this morning, get out of bed, Renee, get out of bed. And, so up I got my coffee, let the dogs out like I usually do. Took a bath, got dressed. I'm like, okay, just because I'm home most of the time doesn't mean I can walk around in my pajamas from, 3 days straight. or more. So yeah, it does make me feel better and more motivated to do things. When I make sure my hair is brushed and I put clean clothes on and, all that kind of stuff. Self-care, do a little bit of that. And I've kind of thought that I've needed to, oh, uh, that's hard. So she recorded it and then had it set to, yes, fibromyalgia, same here. I never know when I wake up each day how I'm gonna feel. Some days I wake up and feel like a truck has just run over me, and I just can't get past it during the day. And sometimes, I can get past some of it. So, oh, did she? You'll have to, if you don't mind, private message me and let me know who that was, because I feel bad that I don't know. Um, so, well, I think I'm gonna end for right now. Maybe I'll be back later. Maybe I'll see you in a live stream. Oh, I no, that doesn't help me. Sorry. Well, thank you for the company, Jen, and thank you to anyone who watches on the replay. Um, if you are so inclined to share the video, share my channel, that would be great. I appreciate it. I initially was only a observer in other people's live streams or other people's craft videos. I would sometimes craft along, making my own stuff, and comment, in live streams or whatever, and leave comments below videos. But I was always just afraid of maybe not knowing what to talk about, because you have to do a lot of talking while you craft too. You can't just sit there quiet, I suppose, and do things. And I know some YouTube people are more talkative than others, more interactive than others. But that was my fear. And it was ridiculous because I am an extrovert. And it's just that I have spent a lot of time over the last several years not being able to interact or not interacting with a lot of other people outside of my husband and my son and my daughter. So I had to get over that fear. He set this all up and it's like, all right, let's just take the plunge and do it. Thank you. Thank you. And goodbye to you too. I will see you around the interwebs on maybe one of your live streams. Woohoo! If not, someone else's. Take care. Bye for now, everybody. Oh, I gotta find that button. That button always eludes me. To end stream. Where are we? There we are.